Today you're going to learn how to make a drink that I call the Ube Cloud. The purple root vegetables, taro and ube, have really taken the world by storm. A few years ago, nobody had even heard of these flavors in the West. And now it seems that everyone wants to try this trendy flavor, no matter where they are in the world. Whether it's because, like me, they love the taste, or if it's because they just want to have super cool looking pictures for social media. But whatever the reason, I've got a super delicious, one-of-a-kind recipe for you today. So, let's get started. Even though this recipe today is for a single serving, 350 milliliter, 12-ounce cup, you can easily multiply this recipe so you can serve it at your cafe. If you are making this at home, I think you'll find making this drink super easy. Now, before I actually show you how to make the drink, I just want to take a quick moment to explain all of the ingredients that you'll be needing for this recipe today. First is the Ube Sweet Purple Yam Spread. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be this brand, but this tends to be the most popular one that I've seen around the world. I always find it at your local Asian, Chinese market, and I've also seen it online. This is a product of the Philippines, and all it has in it is purple yam and cane sugar. That's it. It's got a really thick jelly type paste consistency that you'll see in just a moment, and it's really good. Definitely make sure you refrigerate it after opening. Next, and this one is optional, is ube flavoring. This one is by McCormick. Just this ube paste alone is quite strong and very flavorful. But if you do want to add a little bit more flavor and color, then I would definitely recommend this step. From experience, I must say, this stains really strong. Honestly, if you get it on your hands, it won't come off for days. So please be very, very careful when using this product. We're really only going to be using 1 or 2 drops of this, so we're not adding it for the flavor. It's more so for the food coloring, but it does enhance the flavor just a tad, so I do recommend it. This ube flavoring can easily be found online. We'll be using milk, and actually this recipe goes nicely with semi-skimmed milk or a percentage type milk in America, not a full fat milk, but I do also find that a full fat milk will work really nicely for this recipe also, and you want it to be super, super cold. So not the type of milk that's been out room temperature for a while, the type that's come out straight from the fridge. Next is something that in the UK we call double cream. Comparable item in America would probably be a really, really thick whipping cream. You should be able to find whipping cream in your local grocery store or market, but if not, then the next best thing for you would be half and half. But the thicker the cream, the better. And last but not least, this is optional. It's just for decoration at the top. You only need a really, really tiny amount. It's basically freeze-dried ube in powder form. And this one I also easily found online. But the good news, majority of this stuff you can usually find, like I said, in your local Asian grocery store or Chinese market. And that's it, super easy. So now I will show you how to make this delicious drink. First, we're going to put 2 heaping tablespoons of the ube spread into a small bowl. This stuff is really thick, so you just kind of need to approximate this step. So there's 1. And I'd say that's about 2. I'm just gonna leave that in there because we're gonna be using the spoon in just a second. Then 2 teaspoons of double cream. And lastly, to make it just a little more fluid, we're gonna add 1 teaspoon of the milk. And then give it a really good stir. In the beginning, it will be quite difficult, but just work slowly. If you have perhaps a food processor, this might be your best bet if you're doing a large batch, but just for making it at home, a spoon and a small bowl will work perfectly fine. So in the beginning, I just sort of push it down, get rid of all those clumps. And within a matter of seconds, everything starts to break down and it's more easy to mix. Okay, perfect. This is exactly what we're looking for. It's not super, super thick that, you know, it doesn't fall off at all, or maybe it's super chunky or something, but it's not super watery where when we put it on the inside of the cup, it will drain down or anything. So it's just like a nice good paste. Now, very carefully, we're going to add 1 to 2 drops of this ube flavoring. I'm going to carefully put this here, and using a little paper towel, just because I still have stains on my fingers that have not come off yet, I'm going to very carefully put 2 drops in. 1, 2, that's it. And you'll see as I mix this in, it makes it more bright purple, which tends to be more appealing for social media and also for people to enjoy in general. Before we move on to the next step, we're going to wall our glass. Now again, walling is a new term that's been coined, and it simply means that you're going to take an item that's very thick or kind of pasty, and you're going to wall the inside of the cup. You will be putting this entire amount that you just made onto the inside of your cup. The concept with this drink is this is not decorative, this is part of the actual flavoring of the drink. And when people are enjoying their beverage, they'll use their straw to suck up all of these nice big chunks of the ube while they're drinking it. It's a really amazing experience. You're gonna love it. You just want to get it all the way up to the very top. And just mix it around nicely, including having a nice thick layer in the bottom as well. And any sort of utensil for this step will work perfectly fine. A spoon, a spatula, anything that you have on hand. All right, so just like that, we're just going to put this off to the side. And next we're going to assemble the beverage that will actually be going into the cup with that ube paste. First is 50 milliliters of the double cream. And then 150 milliliters of really cold milk. Next, we're going to be whisking it with an electric whisk. I like to do this for almost a full minute. We want to get it until there's nice, soft peaks with the bubbles, and you'll see just how that looks. The type of whisk I like to use for this step is a double. They do have some on the market that are a single, but I find that the double, it goes a little quicker. In my shops, we actually had a system with batteries where they were rechargeable. So each day we would take the rechargeable battery, put it into the whisk, and use it at the end of the day, recharge the batteries. It worked okay, but it wasn't ideal. I found this one online, just doing a quick search, and it's via a USB plug. So this just goes into the wall socket with a USB, and then that plugs into there, and you just plug it overnight. The next day, it's as good as new. It's a little more expensive than those super cheap battery-powered ones, but I find for the longevity of the investment, it's definitely worth it. And this one just so happened to come with a really cool stand that's nice as well, because that way it doesn't end up on the table and sort of make a mess. You can just pop it right on here. Easy. All right, so here we go. We're gonna put it on the highest power, which for me is 3. And I find that doing this step here is best in a 500 milliliter shaker. All right, there we go. So you've got a little bit of bubbles on the top. We're not going for any sort of whipped creation or anything. We're really just aerating all of that milk and turning it into a really nice, smooth, creamy goodness. And I did that for exactly a minute. In a cafe, you could have one blender dedicated just for this drink, and in between blending it, just stick it back in the fridge and then pop it back on the blender, have it run for, however long until it gets nice and frothy, and then just use it again. But as you can see here, after just a second of it sitting, it's nice and cold, so it's really kind of getting that frothiness as it's sitting, just like that, just on the top. Okay. And now we will assemble our drink. So we have our ube paste walled cup, and now we're going to pour in our nice, creamy, frothy milk. So beautiful. You can definitely tell now part of the reason why I've called it Ube Cloud. You'll understand the next reason once you try it. And just to put something on the top for decoration, we have this freeze-dried, ground up ube. So just the smallest amount, okay? Just a tiny sprinkle. Just like that. You don't want to put too much more because that is actually quite gritty and you don't want people to be confused while they're enjoying their nice fluffy drink. They get little pieces of grits in it or anything. Alternatively, if you have taro powder, that would work as well. Just something to give it a little bit of decoration on the top. It definitely helps with the overall appeal of the look. This looks beautiful. Just a ube cloud of goodness. I can't wait to give it a try. I think for this one, I'm actually gonna be using a white straw, and you definitely wanna go for a larger bubble tea size straw to get all of those nice chunks of the ube while you're drinking it. Cheers. Okay, we wanna make sure we get some of that ube paste in there while we're taking that sip. Oh wow. Oh my goodness. Wow, wow, wow. Honestly, if you're a taro or an ube fan and you've tried all of the drinks, you have never tried this one. This will blow all of those other drinks out of the water. It is so good, so rich and creamy. It's got that goodness in there. You get those chunks of that ube. Oh my goodness. Wow. It has such a bright and flavorful profile. It's very, very natural tasting, but to the extreme in terms of that ube goodness. And as you go along, the more you scrape down the sides of your cup, you just get these wonderful chunks of that ube paste coming in with the creaminess from the milk. It's like each new sip that you take is a brand new flavor explosion. Like, not only does this drink look good, but the taste is above and beyond any ube drink you have ever tried. I guarantee it. I can definitely say this is one of those award-winning type drinks. Either you at home or at your shop want to make it for your customers, everyone will be super, super happy and overjoyed that you made this drink for them. I honestly can't wait for you to try this. You will not be disappointed with this one. Well, thanks so much for joining me today. I really appreciate your time, your comments, your likes for the YouTube algorithm, and you as a subscriber. Please be sure to click that notification bell so you don't miss out on any more amazing, super cool, fun drink videos, and I will see you again soon. Take care.